Check it out. It's Lance Palmer. We're going to catch up with him. PFL stand-up. Catching him off guard here at Extreme Couture. Never a wrong time for a party. What's going on, Lance? How are you?
I'm good, man. It's good to see you guys here in the gym, coming to check out practice. My second practice back in Vegas. I came in this morning, got a workout in with Eddie Baracco, a kickboxing coach here. So it's good. I'm glad to be back, and I'm excited to get back into the groove of actual training camp.
So this isn't just like a pit stop. You're moving your training camp back to Extreme Couture. Is there a reason for that? I guess we never even caught up too much with why you moved away. I think basically a lot of it had to do with your family was back there, and you would fly back and forth. And I know there was a Cali connection too, as well with Calvita. Mm-hmm. Catch us up on all that.
Yeah, so after 2018 season, I went and trained in New Jersey with Frankie Edgar and Eddie Alvarez and Mark Henry and all those guys out there. And I loved the training out there, and I was able to drive back and forth from New Jersey to Ohio to see my wife and visit family and stuff on the weekends. And it seemed like it was easy at first, and then it just got, especially with the pandemic, with the way the training was there and the way that the gyms and everything weren't fully open, and things were just kind of strange, that I wasn't able to, kind of make it fully out there in New Jersey during that time. So I started bringing, last year, my camp back to California with Juan Archuleta and Coach Cal and TJ Dillashaw and those guys. And it was good, but it was still traveling back and forth. And it just, this training camp I have here in Vegas is just, it's just, one, it's really beneficial. I mean, there's a ton of good guys. It's a shark tank at my weight class and around my weight class. But not only that, for training partners, the coaches, and I have a really good connection with Coach Casey and Eddie and Eric and Jimmy Gifford, and everybody here has always treated me like family. So it's and it's a direct flight. I can make it home in 4 hours. So it's just a little different, and it's it feels good to be back here. There was really nothing negative that happened anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. Now, you went back to back, winning the title there. And then we had COVID, so everyone got canceled. And then, of course, last season was your roughest season ever. Mm-hmm. What's your mindset like? Do you feel like, I guess, you didn't lose in a final per se. Mm-hmm. It was just kind of a bad season. I know there's some stuff that you shared with us before that you'll probably share again, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to know, did it snatch your soul, or have you already begun the building blocks to, getting back to the top?
I mean, it definitely, it tore me up after losing, 2 fights in a row like that. And with the PFL season, they're so close together. So you lose 2 fights within a couple months' time, and then you have to sit all the way up until, when my first fight is this year. It's a long time. It was eating at me. So, I went and did the no-gi worlds for jiu-jitsu, and I stayed up on my training in Columbus and trained at Matt Brown's gym because, he's always in the gym getting ready for fights, and he's got one coming up now, so I've been training with him and Mark Coleman and all those guys there. But that last year's season, it was like one of the best things in my life, having my daughter in February, and then 2 weeks later, my dad was in rehab, and then my grandma passed away, and then I was stuck in, we were stuck in that quarantine for 17 days leading up to the first fight, and I had no coaches. Usually my coaches come out the day before the fight, so they don't come out for the whole time. And I was just by myself for 17 days, trying to, basically 2 weeks of fight camp, trying to keep my mind right and keep my training where it needed to be, with one of my old teammates, Tyler Diamond. But it was just a really strange and bizarre season for me. And it didn't go my way. There was nothing out of the ordinary. It literally just didn't go my way. I didn't feel present in the fights, and really didn't have the focus of wanting to be in there. But I took some time off. I took probably a month or 2 off, went on vacation with my wife and my daughter, and kind of let everything else sink in, because obviously the family stuff is more important in the grand scheme of things. So spent some time with my dad, and we all mourned the loss of my grandma and stuff like that, and then just got back into it and wanted to get back to competing. And so that's what took me to the no-gi worlds as a brown belt, and then I won it and was promoted to black, and just a lot of good came out of last year outside of that, because losing those 2 fights, I learned a lot, just about focus and discipline, and being, when my mind isn't there, anybody can beat me. And that was kind of what it came down to. It wasn't anything special. Nobody had any special recipe. It was just, I beat me, basically. And, that's just how it happened. And I don't dwell on that at all. I'm just super excited about this season, ready to get in there and hopefully be able to get back to the top and show that I'm still the man.
Yeah, because I noticed when I saw you for the first time today, you were smiling, you had a great practice. It doesn't seem like losing, I guess, demoralized you like other fighters do take it hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it probably has a lot to do with, heck, the stuff that you described to us probably was even worse than the feeling of losing a fight.
Yeah.
And with that, obvious extended condolences on the losses in your family, and we're cheering for your dad to make the complete turnaround at rehab. We've met him.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like you, man. He's a party himself.
Oh, yeah.
And anyway, what I wanted to focus on now is you're with PFL.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything that we may have read somewhere or heard somewhere, it's all been squashed. Everything's good going into this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think I tried last year to kind of get past all of that, but it was just lingering. It was like every interview was like, the stuff between that they posted about your dad and stuff like that. Like, that's obviously that they said, they even reached out and said that, it wasn't right, and there was really no basis upon doing it and stuff like that. But also, for me to hold a grudge in that scenario, that's something you can't really mix personal and business. But, it was one of those things that it was very emotional. And I talked to Ray Sefo about it, and like, the way that the country is right now, you can't just be posting about somebody's dad being racist and expect it like to just disappear after a few months and nobody's going to remember. So that's something that he would have to deal with. He owns his own business. It's not something that you just post and it goes away. It's like, it's a trickle down effect of things, and there was no truth or basis to it. So, we're past that part of it, and I had talked to Don Davis after my second fight of last season, and I just said, I'm really appreciative to be part of PFL. It has nothing against PFL. It's more just like protecting my family, and I think anybody would do that. So I think we're able to get past that and move forward, and I feel like I've been a good asset to PFL, and obviously PFL has been good to me over the last few years. So this is this is another opportunity for me to go in there and represent PFL and the best way I can, and try and go out there and win another belt and hopefully take home another check.
Let's talk a little bit about moving forward. It seems like a lot that you went through was personal, but physically you seem pretty good, and even now mentally you seem in a very good place. How important is that first fight back to set the tone?
It's really important. I don't want to put like a big, like a big weight on my shoulders about the first fight, having to go out and get a win and do this or that. It's more of like, I want to go out there and get the win, obviously, but I'd like to have a good finish and bring myself back to that top position and get some, obviously it goes by points, so it'd be cool to get a first or second round finish and start that season with some big points and get myself a good win and a good finish. That would help, not only confidence-wise, but just going into the next season.
Are you going to be the welcome home party for this season? And if so, you have a message for all them people that doubted you in the last season?
I think people always will doubt me, no matter how good I do or how well I do or how many belts and titles I win. It's like I've won 2 titles in World Series of Fighting, 2 in PFL, and people are always going to doubt. So when you do finally lose, I was on an 11-fight win streak and I lost 2 fights in 2 months. Everybody's going to want to point the finger, but I just keep to myself with that, and the people that are with me, I appreciate them, and the people that are against me, it's only motivation. I think once they realize that, I think it's a lot easier to like somebody than hate them.